Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Five Dirty Bikers podcast. Today, we have a returning guest. We have from the state of Florida, Blockhead. Blockhead, thank you for joining us on the Five Dirty Bikers podcast once again.
Thank you guys for having me again. It's always a pleasure.
Down there in the Corona hotspot.
Yeah.
So we know we can talk.
Germs.
Yeah, we could talk about infinity things with you, but Ryan, go ahead and let everybody know what we got cooking today.
So last week, hopefully you guys all listened to our podcast from last week, and we asked 50 people why that don't ride motorcycle, why they don't ride. And so the brief synopsis was most people said finances and safety. Those are probably the top two reasons why people that are currently not riding don't ride. And so we kind of wanted to play off of that topic, and we thought it might be good to discuss what would be some reasons or some things that the motorcycle industry could do to attract more riders, get more people on bikes, get more butts on the seats, get more people out on two wheels. So that's what we're going to discuss today.
I'm going to suggest testosterone because that's the only thing that will get your nuts out of a purse.
Yeah, we had a guy last week, his nuts were in his wife's purse, right? And he couldn't ride?
Yeah, in a satin velveteen Corona or Crown Royal bag.
I was going to say like a Crown Royal bag.
Yes, exactly.
Like that.
I'll never be that person.
With a set of nuts in the purse.
You know, you're a real influential guy. You've gotten a lot of people to ride. Maybe to start, if we could expand on, has anybody approached you and said how that you got them to ride? What was like the magic potion?
Yeah. So, well, before we get too far into it, on my recent trip to Georgia, I was rocking y'all's podcasts back to back. So thank you guys for making my ride a little better. I appreciate you.
That's awesome. Thanks, you.
Man.
Yeah.
Did you find it interesting and funny at all?
Oh, man, I looked forward to the word of the day every time.
Said no one ever.
I'm just sitting there like, leading. I'm in front of Jess, her two wheels, and Greg. And like, I'm just shaking my head. I'm like, they have no idea what I'm listening to right now. It's just like, ridiculous. No, but it definitely made time pass by a lot faster. So thank you guys and good work.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great.
So, yeah, I guess to kind of backtrack. I've had a lot of people that have, posted on my channel saying that like, because of the videos, they've started riding, because of like, I've got, 3 or 4 how to ride videos. And so with that, I see a lot of people that basically go from, not understanding really like how a motorcycle works, to slowly, little by little, building a foundation and understanding how a motorcycle works. Yeah. So it's basically takes them from a place of like not understanding it at all to, kind of building a foundation and little by little, just like showing them, okay, this is the basis of a bike. These are the controls. And then it goes into the next part, which is like using the friction zone and kind of like barely shifting into second gear. And it's kind of more at the pace that like, if I were looking up a YouTube video on how to ride, like it's what I would want to see. And that's a lot of the reasons I make the videos is because I make stuff that I would want to see. And so I've gotten a lot of people that have said like, thank you for making the video. Like, this is the reason I started riding, which is incredibly rewarding, in of itself. But like you guys were saying earlier, like finances does have a lot to do with it. It's like, not everybody can afford a bike payment, but there's definitely ways like around that you can, there's used bikes on, Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist and Cycle Trader for cheap as hell, and they still run. Granted, it might be from like the 80s and 90s and be carbureted, but if like your way around with the wrench, like you should be good to go, right? Yeah, and there's just a lot of things that I think we can do to make more riders. It's one of the things that Josh, Shade Tree Surgeon, says. He says more of us, less of them. And so like one of the goals like with the channel is like welcoming any and all riders. If you ride a Harley, awesome. If you ride a Grom, that's cool too. Like, it doesn't matter as long as you're on two wheels and enjoying it. So
Absolutely.
It's just getting the people from, over the fact of being scared or intimidated.
Yeah.
Just
and
from riding in general.
It is a lot to take in at first. I actually recently retook, after 4 years, I retook the MSF course, which was nails on a chalkboard. But it was funny, like kind of going through it all and seeing how they build up, the steps and get you to learn. So, I mean, you're starting from, they're assuming you know nothing. And so watching that from taking somebody that doesn't know hardly anything and is really kind of timid and seems a little scared by the bike to, at the end of day 2, they're ripping around the parking lot. No problem. It's really cool.
Yeah. That's what I loved about it. I mean, they put you on something small. They make you walk it across the parking lot really slow and then, baby steps. But yeah, I think everybody should take that.
It's kind of like you talk about people being scared. It's very similar to firearms because I am currently a firearms instructor. And so one of my neighbors, she's not really familiar with firearms. And so we ended up having a day. Somebody was over here at my house. This is such a fucking Florida thing I'm about to say. Somebody took out a gun in my house and we were looking at their gun and we unloaded it and we were, trying out the trigger to see. It was like a 2.5, 3 pound, and a Glock. And so I started taking out, right. So I started taking out, it was kind of show and tell. It's like, oh, well, these are my guns, cause they're in my house. So I'm like taking the guns all out of my safe. And I handed one to her, it was unloaded and she kind of seemed to really just, standoffish about it. And I was like, do you not know about firearms? Like, are you scared of them because you don't know about them? Or are you scared of them because something else? And so she was like, I just don't know about them. I'm not comfortable with them. It's the same thing with motorcycles. People just don't know about it and they're not comfortable with it. Therefore, they have a bit of a fear because of all the terrible stories that you hear, It's
True.
Whenever Greg and I were about to come back down to Florida, like this woman walks up to us randomly out of a gas station. She goes up to him and she's like, oh, like my cousin's uncle's nephew's daughter's best friend died on a motorcycle. It's like, come on, man. Like, I don't want to hear that before I ride 500 miles back to Florida.
You know what? This is what I don't get about motorcycles, because everybody has a story like that somebody came up to them and tells them about somebody that they know that died. But no one ever does that to you at a gas station in a fucking car. They don't walk up to you and say, hey, my sister died in a car wreck last week. No one says that shit to you. So why do they do it to motorcycle riders? I'll never get it.
It's just one of those, societal stigmas that's out there. It's like and afterwards she was like, I hope you all have a safe ride, safe journey. She was kind and nice about it. And her heart was in the right place. But like the whole, like, okay, you just told me that somebody like you knew died on what I'm about to throw my leg over and go do. Like what? How are you supposed to react to that? I want to make a video.
Well, why are they bringing up the negative first rather than,
Dude, everybody brings up the negative first.
It's like, well, I knew somebody who died on a motorcycle. Really? Well, what was it? Well, he was running about 110 and didn't have a helmet on and tried to run straight through the forest. I don't know why. He just, but he died. Well, okay. That's called Darwinism. And
Oh my God.
I hate that for your family. But or you can look at it this way. Somebody tells you something negative, say, God, I feel sorry for the millions of other people who are still alive on a motorcycle. Yeah. I
want to jump in here too, because there's a lot of instances where, you hear somebody locally that died in a wreck, but most of the time around here, at least, I don't know about where everybody else lives that's listening or you guys here, usually alcohol has something to do with it.
Yep.
Or riding reckless.
Mm-hmm.
Or speed wobbles.
Or a deer pulls out in front of you, because that happens a lot around here. You know, and they'll just shoot right out from the corn stalks right into the road, and you can't react. But more times than not, in this area, in this region, if you practice safe riding, gear up somewhat, and do the right things and use your brain, you're usually 99.9 times out of 100 going to come home the same way you left.
Yeah, it's such a mental thing. It's one of the things I recently told a new rider because they were, you know, in the class. And I was telling them, it's like you can get the actual riding part down, but like so much of it is mental. You have to like think about what you're doing, look through your turns, have like a plan, like an escape route, and you know, that's just have your head on right, you know.
Yeah,
be vigilant. That's one of the reasons I always say stay vigilant, and it's because you constantly got to be looking around and paying attention.
Yeah, we talked about that last week. Yep.
Yeah,
but you do the same. You do the same with firearms, though. I mean, it's the same thing. You know, concealed carry wise or anything like. You know, it's a frame of mind that you have to put yourself in every day when you ride or when you carry.
Yep.
So,
because I'm in this situation where I'm be buying my first handgun. I'm almost 40. I don't know why I waited so long. I mean, I used to shoot BB guns when I was a kid. Had a little shotgun, right, or little rifle when I was, I don't know, 9 or 10 that my dad bought for me. But people will look at you the wrong way, saying, "Hey, I want to have a gun in the house." Well, like, well, you got kids. And they say the same thing when you have a motorcycle. Yep. Well, you got kids. Like, yeah, but I'm safe about what I do. I said, I know I can die. Like Mike said, I could die sitting on my couch. Of course, the probability of me dying sitting on my couch is a lot less than me getting on a motorcycle and riding. But I do safe things. You know, you got to keep it in the back of your mind that, you know, you could die. You could not come home, even if you're riding to work. Like, I might not come home. But you don't want that to be the center of your ride. You just want to go out and enjoy it.
This podcast took a morbid fucking turn, didn't it?
No, you guys are negative Nazis, man. This is no fun at all.
Okay, well, like looping back around to what we're originally talking about is like, how do you make more riders? Well, this is one of those stigmas that's out there is that,
right?
Yeah.
You know, you hear about this shit like nonstop. Like, you know, before I started riding, my parents told me the same thing. You know, so-and-so lost their leg, or so-and-so's like, you know, broke their neck or something, or so-and-so died. Like, you always hear about the negative. And so that's one of those things. It's like, there's so much negative about it out there. It's like, how do you work your way past that? Well, you do what we're doing. You know, you kind of positive. Yeah. You get together and you talk about it and you make videos showing people that like, oh, look, you know, I've got 700 something videos on motorcycles and here I am, knock on wood. Yeah, like there's way more positives to it than there are negatives to it. And, you know, you can die sitting there on your couch and you can talk probability all day, but you know, if you're just sitting there doing nothing, are you living or are you already dead kind of thing, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Were you?
Banana Mike, how can I help you?
So, you know, it's sort of like you were bringing up with firearms, Dustin. You know, you're fixing to bring a gun into the house, right?
Yep.
The best thing you can do is have your children around guns and show them what not to do. Because, man, I was raised around guns.
My old man duck hunted. He went turkey hunting.
I never touched my dad's firearms at all. Didn't matter how many friends I had over, never touched them.
All three of my kids can load, unload, and clean a gun.
Yep.
Right. And see, that right there is impressive. Yeah. But if you motherfucker. But if you don't have your children or children haven't been around them, of course they're going to be interested in them. They're going to want to touch them and play with them because they see dad has it, whatever, you know. I have 3 kids and none of my kids ever touched my loaded pistol on my nightstand in my holster because they knew what a firearm did. They shot firearms. They had been with me around, and that was from the time when they were babies till, you know, they're teenagers now. And I never had to worry about having a loaded gun in the house because you raise them up around that. Now, if you haven't been around motorcycles, Yeah, you're going to be timid when you get on a motorcycle because of everything that you have been told your entire life. But at the end of the day, everyone dies. And you know what?
Fuck.
You can't live in fear your entire damn life. If you're going to go out doing something you fucking enjoy rather than, well, I was driving in a car and I got hit. Guess what? Wah, wah.
Jesus, Mike.
Wow. You gotta live. To me, I guess I look at it like this: you gotta live life a little bit without regret, right? The only thing you're gonna regret when you're 1 foot in the grave is all the shit you didn't do.
Yeah.
You're never gonna regret shit you did do, right?
Yeah.
And so that's why I look at it. Every time I get on my motorcycle, the only ride I'm gonna regret not going on is the one I didn't fucking go on, right? Every other ride, it doesn't even matter if it's to work or to the grocery store or to the fucking pump and munch. They're all good.
Hey,
God,
you know
he seemed
one
angry tonight too. A lot of aggression in this podcast tonight.
One regret that I will never have: riding a fucking Dyna.
So to elaborate on your comment there, Kid Moto, it brings a quote back to mind, and the quote is, "The road to hell is paved in, or the road to hell and heartache is paved in what if."
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Go for it.
I am, and the funny thing is I think you can raise your kids that same way too. My kids don't think about when I get on my motorcycle and ride that I'm not coming home today. They just, it's like just like with you guys with guns, they're not thinking about if I go out and target shoot today that I'm not coming home. So it's the same thing, but that still leads us back to the same question. How do we get more people on bikes?
Yeah.
Because I don't truly think it's just about education. I think that's a big part of it, but I don't think it's the only way.
Yeah. So I think you have to get past like the whole thing of them only hearing about the bad. This is what we're talking about. It's like you hear about the bad so much, and it's like whenever some random person walks up to us as we're about to go on a ride and tells us about her so-and-so that she knows something happened, it's like, but how do you change that, like on a societal level of, oh, motorcycles aren't that bad?
I mean, we know the scale is tipped the other way so hard. So in so many ways.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got, that's education, right? And then having people become less timid and like scared of motorcycles is also education. It's letting them know that it's not all bad, or this is how they work, understanding the mechanics of it, stuff like that. And then whenever it gets to the financial side, because you guys mentioned finances earlier, like I'm on Facebook Marketplace right now. I just typed in facebook.com/marketplace, and I look at motorcycles all the time. I shouldn't, but I do. And like the first thing that pops up, you've got like an 08 Sportster 1200 for $3,200. You've got, there's a freaking Dyna here for $6,000. There's a 03 Harley for, yeah, right. There's a freaking Heritage, like an older looking Heritage on here, I think, for like $2,000. It's like,
man, that's a deal.
You can find some really great deals out there. 95 883 for 2,300. That'll get you started. And there's cheaper stuff out there, man. Like you can find just older Kawasaki's and tons of stuff for, sub $2,000.
That's the thing. You just gotta look if you're even interested at all. Just look. There's tons of good used bikes out there that can get you started.
Oh, for sure.
Hey, I've got a novel idea.
Oh, fuck.
So no. This actually is I think it's a good idea. So we are all about community. That's what this podcast and all of us are established on, right?
Absolutely.
So what if us as a community, if people will listen to the podcast and are interested in getting into motorcycling that don't know anyone that rides or anything like that, we could use ourselves as a community, or use the Discord as a community, to where people that don't know anyone around in their area that rides motorcycles, we have people scattered all across the U.S. on the Discord. Mm-hmm. That would be a way for someone who isn't motorcycle-ly or who's motorcycle-ly. Yeah. Challenged to where they're not around anybody who rides, but they could actually sort of be, it would be like a, what do they call them? An AA?
They would have a mentor.
A sponsor. Yeah.
A motorcycle sponsor.
A sponsor or a mentor in their area. Try to get them a mentor or sponsor in their area. So that way they can at least get out or be introduced into motorcycling. Mm-hmm. And it not feel like, well, I've got to go to a Harley dealership and be around a bunch of people who look like they're going to beat me up, or, I don't want to, look
Harley
like
dealer is intimidating the first time.
It is. Yeah. If you almost look like a LARPer if you go there.
Yeah, that's one of the things I was actually going to mention that I'm kind of surprised didn't come up in y'all's questionnaire, but like the community. Well, certain aspects of the community being unwelcoming, I see it here in Orlando all the time, all the time. And then like, even within the community, there's like always those people that talk shit about, you got the cruisers talking shit about the sport bikers, talking shit about the cruisers. And then you got cruisers talking shit about cruisers. And then even within Harley, it's like, you got all those guys talking shit about each other. And so it's just kind of like, I understand it's the whole like Chevy versus Ford versus, Dodge and all that. But it's like, if you had, I think, a little bit more of like a welcoming community and like people didn't have like a scowl on their face all the time, that it would be, a bit more open. It's the whole marketing, style that Honda took back in the day, whenever they said you meet the nicest people on a Honda.
That's right. You do.
You sure do.
Fuck.
Honda for the win.
But I mean,
I'm still waiting.
Come right up to me on my gram. Most people don't come up to me while I'm on the Harley.
Nope.
Yeah.
It's because of the big beard and the tattoos and the loud motorcycle. They're scared of you.
Yeah.
I know there's probably some old woman up the block here in town. She's probably like, that guy does meth.
Yeah. Oh no, man. Whenever I bought a house and moved in, I was like, God, I really hope the community doesn't hate me. And turns out they all started riding motorcycles. So it's like, all right, that worked out.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, and I think to your point too, Mike, we've got a couple people in the Discord that are new riders or just buying bikes right now. And I think one of the things that they were drawn to also was the idea that, now they're connected to other riders, and now they're connecting to other people that they are going to get to know, and they have somebody to do this with. And so they're not feeling, they're not feeling alone. And I think that's for some people when they take up a hobby like this, that's how they feel, is that they want to have a sense of community. They want to have somebody to do it with. I think different for somebody. I know for me, I never thought that when I did get my bike that I needed that. I knew I would be okay riding alone. The community has been a added bonus to everything. But if the community didn't exist at all, I would still be riding. So, but there are some people that aren't like that.
Riding's fun.
Need that.
It's fun.
Yeah. And
absolutely.
added boners are always good.
Maybe for you.
I would like to say there's also, y'all are talking about Discord, and yes, our Discord is great. We have a lot of great people in there, share ideas back and forth, and it's a friendly community. 2 more ways that people can connect, of course. If you type in #SupportNBC on YouTube or Instagram, you're going to see a whole bunch of moto vlogging people out there. And it's not just for moto vloggers. I mean, there's people that don't moto vlog, that just ride motorcycles, that are in that community. And they're spread out all across the United States, different countries. And like I mentioned before, there's a kind of a new up-and-coming website, supportbikers.com, and that's by the Badgers. They're somewhere, I guess, maybe down around you, Blockhead.
Yeah, I've met them.
in that area. Yeah. And so they have a map where you can go and you can click on it and you can see other riders around you and connect with those people. So that's just one more way if you're a new rider or maybe you're wanting to ride and get into it but don't know anybody. It's a great way to connect with people.
Yeah, I actually made a video talking about, I think it was titled like 7 ways to meet motorcycle friends. It's actually the video that 93 Dead Dinosaurs was born.
Oh, yeah.
Funnily enough.
Yeah.
At the beginning of it, I just happened to say that for some reason. But yeah, like it was just like all sorts of different ways that you can meet, other people that ride motorcycles. I had a friend recently, I've known him for like 10 years. He's got a 17 Dyno Lowrider S that he bought a couple years ago. And he's got a Nightster. And he told me the other day, he's like, hey man, I haven't heard from him in like a year. And he hits me up and he's like, hey, I'm thinking about selling the bikes. I know like you're into bikes if you know anybody. And I was like, oh, like, okay, well, like, why are you selling them? And he's like, oh, I don't have anybody to ride with. I was like, bruh. I'm like, I got you.
Yeah.
I got people to ride with. I'm like, let me, I told him we got this whole like chat on WhatsApp and it's like a ride planning chat. It's strictly ride planning, And so like if somebody's doing something, we'll be like, hey, what's up? Blockhead crew. We're doing a ride to Sugarloaf ending at, Plant Street, whatever. And like whoever is able to join joins and you drop a location and they either show up or you don't. But I mean, it's pretty much like open to anybody in the chat. So it's like, there's so many ways like to be able to meet and get involved in the community. You were mentioning an app. I was recently contacted by a company that has like a certain app and it's pretty much like Facebook, but dedicated to motorcycles.
Meetup Moto.
Is that it?
Yeah, that's one of them. Yeah.
That's one of them that's fairly new. Yeah.
Yeah, that might be it. I can't quite recall, but I mean, it looks pretty good from, just kind of glancing over it real quick, but there's definitely lots of ways that people can get involved in the community out there. It's like, check out your local Cycle Gears or, whatever bike shops are, talk to them, ask around, see where there's meetups and stuff like that. And just kind of dive in.
I think there's I think there's a certain amount of fear involved in that too, even for people that have bikes, to drive up to the local bike shop or to go to the local dealership and just put yourself out there, or even just show up at a local ride somewhere. I think that's super intimidating. I think there's some intimidation factor even worse than going into a bar and sitting up at the bar by yourself. I think that driving your motorcycle to a group of people that are riding and not knowing whether you'll feel welcome is still something that is very prevalent. And
yeah, I think that's, just kind of has to do with like however confident or comfortable somebody is, because one of the things I've always said is you have an immediate icebreaker. You ride up on a bike and you see somebody else's bike that you like, just start talking about their bike, man. Right. Like there's a reason they chose that bike. There's a reason they love that bike. Ask them what mods they've done, man. It's stupid easy to get into it.
Right.
It's
and
amazing.
then there's people like us that rode and met each other in the woods.
They what?
True enough.
At the first
that story.
Yeah, the first moto meetup. Well, the first Midwest moto meetup, we've never met each other, and we all went to the meetup, and it was in the middle of the woods. So it was like we're riding to meet these people we know online in the woods.
Nothing sketchy about that.
Nothing sketchy about that whatsoever.
Yeah, that doesn't sound.
Blair Witch meetup.
No, dude, it was the Camp Crystal Lake meetup for sure. Only there was no lake.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like someplace I'm going to get killed at all.
Yeah, my wife goes, "Where are you going?" I said, "I'm going to go meet a bunch of guys out in the woods I've never met."
No, but
nice knowing you.
Yeah, but in all seriousness, it was one of the best times. We had an awesome time. Everybody that showed up was eager to meet everybody else and ride together, and we just had, we just made memories that we're going to keep,
and fuck COVID.
Yeah, it sucks. We had to postpone ours the meetup this year because of COVID. You guys did it too, didn't you, Blockhead? You had to postpone?
we had to push FLMM back, but yeah, I mean everybody's just like still hesitant to get on board because like a lot of the way that we put FLMM on is, like getting the sponsors on board to be able to pretty much throw a free event. So
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So you guys have a date, a new date selected for that yet? You want to talk about?
we've got a date in mind that we've talked to. We always do it at Ace Cafe in downtown Orlando, and so we've got a date in mind that we've talked to them about, but like nothing's solid yet. We're looking at maybe like March, but like it's August already, and I feel like we're already behind because that event just takes up so much like time and effort to plan it, to make it go.
Yeah.
So,
We spent so much time. Like we started back in January, February, and it's supposed to be in like 3 weeks.
2 weeks,
from
2 or
today.
3,
Yeah.
2 weeks. Yeah.
And when we got the call from Bluegrass that they couldn't have us there, and then all this stuff going on with the shutdown. I mean, it like, wow.
Sturgis went off though.
It sure did.
Yeah, it did.
Yep.
That's fucking nuts. I wouldn't have went there.
I think there's some little meetups now happening around that though.
I think you're
Blockhead
having a
had
little
that
meetup there.
I am having a little meetup. You are right. You are right. And I'm heading to where the big event was at. So yeah, I'm gonna head out to South Dakota, and I think we'll have probably 10 riders out there now. That's kind of what it looks like, with half of them camping.
Nice.
And some of them are from our Discord. I think all of them are from our Discord, except one person who's just a local guy that follows me on YouTube and heard me talk about it on YouTube and just hit me up on Instagram and said, "Hey, do you have room for another person?" And I said, "Absolutely."
My
Here's
idea
where
of
we're
camping
staying.
is a Hampton Inn.
Same.
Yeah, we're camping. I found a pretty rustic campground in the middle of the between like Sturgis and Spearfish and near Mount Rushmore, and so yeah, it's going to be up in the mountains, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
Ryan would be happy spooning a bear at this point, I think.
I'd probably keep the bear awake, motherfucker.
True. From what I've heard, yeah,
Yeah, I can tear paint off walls. No shit.
that's what these guys say.
Something special.
It was like one of them cartoons where they snore so loud the roof comes off and then comes back, it drops back down.
I've never heard anything like it in my life.
Like little
This is
Nicky.
the part of the podcast where you guys drop the advertisement for plug phones, plug headphones, listen to your white noise app.
Yes.
Get
No,
sleep if you're
it
still in
wouldn't
your
have
room.
worked. It wouldn't have been enough. So talking about motorcycles, Blockhead, what's in your stable right now, man? Because your garage looks really full.
Does the stable include the storage unit?
Oh my
Jesus.
gosh.
But wait, there's more.
But wait, there's more.
There's more that you guys don't see.
That's called hoarder.
Yeah, I've got a problem. I made a
He's a
video.
bikeaholic.
It's not a
I
I've got
saw
a
that
t-shirt.
video. I saw that damn video. You're like, guys, I got a real
Yep.
problem. I'm like, what happened?
Dude, I got into like a whole different mindset and zone in that video, like where I was actually starting to tear up. I'm like, man, is this how actors do it? Crazy.
All right.
It was crazy. But so yeah, I've got my 2020, my main 2020 Harley Softail Lowrider S, and then the OG 2013 Iron 883, which we actually had an interesting development on today that we're going to be doing to it.
Did you get those Did you get the short shots in from the dude?
From Yultron? No, he's going to package them up and send them over. And then I'm going to try to put those on the chopper, actually. I'm going to see if they'll fit on the
Nice.
chopper. So it'll be kind of like new style exhaust on like a old school bike. So
Oh, yeah.
Like
That
real cool,
would
but
be
we'll see.
cool.
That
I
would be
definitely want to get away from the chrome on that bike. So I've got the two Honda Groms. So the white and the black. One of those is currently totally taken down. It's up on the lift as a hover bike right now because I'm trying to get those wheels powder coated like chrome gold. I've been through 3 different powder coaters and nobody can get this gold that I want. So hopefully this guy can do it. And then I've got the 2010 Honda CBR 600RR, which is another big project incoming. And then let's see, what else can I share?
This is only what he can share. Shit.
There's stuff that I can't tell you guys about yet too.
Top secret.
So that's and the 05 Sucker Punch Sally bobber or chopper, which
That
is
thing's badass.
Yeah, it is.
And then for season 4, we're basically wrapping up the 2017 Dyna Lowrider S. I'm waiting on one more part to come in to be able to like wrap that bike up and film a reveal and announce the winner for that, for giving that one away. And then for season 5, we've got the Harley Iron 883, the Indian Scout, and the Yamaha Bolt. And those are all, like, we took them to MMI. We got them dynoed by Jimmy Mack, one of the best in the business. Got numbers, baseline numbers, and then we're going to start building those up. And exciting announcement on that I guess will premiere on 5 Dirty Bikers. But for season 5, the giveaways on those bikes, the season sponsor is Revzilla.
Nice.
So,
Oh, nice.
with lots of parts and, getting these bikes up and going to, perform a bit better.
That's awesome. Good for
Very
you.
really
nice.
cool.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
Thanks.
I think it's extremely cool that you do that, man, and give away the bikes. That's really cool stuff.
Yeah. It only feels right. It's like I always say it, but the community the community coming together allows me to be able to do like some really cool shit. Right. And one of those things is be able to like get bikes, customize them. And then like, what am I going to do? Like hold on to all of them? Like, that's ridiculous. Like, I don't need that many motorcycles. I don't need the amount of motorcycles that I have, but like, I like diversity, they say it's the spice of life or something like that. And I like spicy food. So
Have you given away a bike yet to somebody that is not a rider?
I think the first season, the person didn't have a bike, if I recall.
Okay.
And
Well, there
then
you go.
season 2, I know the guy had a bike. I think he sold the bike that we gave to him. And then season 3 was the 48 bobber, and that guy had an older bike.
Okay.
I can't remember the condition he said it was in. It didn't sound like it was in that great a condition, but so we basically gave him the 48 bobber, and he absolutely loved it. And then, season 4, the Dyna Lowrider S. So we've, got it all done up club style. Dude, whoever gets this bike, like, I can't wait for you guys to see it. Like Eric, he's been helping me build it out.
Mm-hmm.
Like he is super pissed that like he can't win it. But he's like, whoever wins this bike, if you want to sell it, let me know. Cause he's got blood, sweat, and tears in that thing, just like the rest of us.
So we talked a little bit about how, I guess probably all of us could promote, motorcycling. What do you think the industry needs to do to bring more riders? Because I don't think we really hit on what the industry needs to do. I mean, I think we talked about what we can do and other riders can do. Mm-hmm. What do you think the industry needs to do?
Like I would say, I don't know. I think that's a kind of a mix between like the whole financing side of things, and then also trying to be more welcoming and friendly. Cause like you were saying, like walking into like a Harley dealership, and I'm using Harley for a lot of these examples, but like even going into like a normal power sports place, it's like that has multiple different brands of whatever it may be. Like it's kind of intimidating going in there, because especially if you don't know what you're looking for. And so I'm the type of person that like researches the hell out of stuff before I go anywhere to look at it. But if I'm doing like kind of scouting, like I'll walk into a place and talk to one of the salesmen and ask questions, So I think it's a thing of being welcoming, like as a company, not being pushy, because like sometimes people are just there to learn. And if you take care of those people and you give them the information they want, like chances are they're going to come back, because, you're maybe the one dealership that actually treated them like a person versus, all these other people, like dealerships that are just trying to turn them and burn them. So
yeah.
I think, I think that there's something though, I think the motorcycle industry could learn a little bit from the car industry. Because if you go in, I mean, I'll be the first person to admit this. I've gone into a car dealership without the intention on buying a car and walked out with a car because a salesman sold me something, and I didn't feel bad about it. Right. Yeah. I think when you walk into any dealership, this has been my experience with Harley and another like a power sports dealer that deals with multiple bikes. I think when you walk in there, they make the assumption you're just there to window shop and you're not going to buy. I think there's a different mindset for motorcycle salesmen in all genres of motorcycles that just assume that you're not going to buy. And I think that mindset needs to change too. You know what I mean? That you could make a new rider if you behave differently towards them.
Yeah.
Ryan, I want to jump in there. I know you were talking about how
I hate the car dealership.
Well, not so much the car dealership,
dicks.
just the industry themselves. I think it might have something to do with the way they advertise, because you don't see too many motorcycle commercials on TV.
You don't see
anymore.
any.
Right.
I don't see any.
Yeah.
They could
That's
put some
true.
more. They could put some more advertising dollars into the TV waves, and more. It's going to be in front of more people.
That's true. That's true.
I mean, if you want to see motorcycle content, you got to go to YouTube.
Yeah,
True.
Yeah. That's a big
Or
thing.
if-
Like making it. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
No.
Go ahead, Mr. B.
No. All you, bro.
Well, I was just saying, if you pull up to a gas station, whether it's Pump and Munch or
The come and
like
go.
the come and go, yeah. You'll usually see a Monster, ad that might have Mr. Roxon in it, or Dungy, or somebody like that riding a dirt bike having a whole lot of fun. You don't ever see Harley stuff like that.
No, and that's the thing too. Like they kind of started changing. I think their marketing a little bit to where they're trying to gear toward younger riders, but they need to put a smile on some of those people's faces, because I don't care what type of bike you're riding. You buy a bike, you're having fun doing it.
Right.
You are.
Right. You don't
Yeah,
need
I
to put on your pirate slayer face as soon as you get your bike.
Yeah, it's like you buy it and it comes with a vest and a scowl. Like I've said that in a video before, and it's like, it doesn't have to be the image that you try to portray, it's like, it's such like a, I don't know, like an old school way of thinking. And it's like, you have to make it more human, for people to feel like welcome and not as intimidated.
It's called an RBF, resting biker face.
And for God's sakes, please don't just blare "Wanted Dead or Alive" every time you ride.
I prefer Flirting with Disaster by Molly Hatchet.
Oh my God.
Dude, you got Prince on repeat on you.
Now we're getting into the stereotype side.
Purple Rain.
What do you guys think
I
about
listen to
that?
Purple Rain.
Let's do some Purple Rain.
No, seriously, I knew this guy that he used to ride, and I swear to God, every time he took off on his bike, he was blaring "Wanted Dead or Alive" every single time.
Oh, that was his warm-up track.
Dude,
He's getting ready to do a
guess so.
workout.
Did he wear Affliction jeans?
Probably so.
He had a bedazzled shirt and Affliction jeans, didn't he?
Probably
His
And
shirt
he
was probably a
probably-
couple sizes too small.
a medium.
A medium.
He probably had tribal flames that only went halfway around his arm too.
we just kicked ass over every stereotype.
Yep. Yep.
Oh,
Just ride your shit. Just ride.
See,
Hey,
that stereotype that you guys brought up is a stereotype that a lot of people see from the outside, and they don't know any better. So
Yeah.
it's like, how do you, in welcoming more riders, like how do you get away from those stereotypes?
you want to know something that's really funny though? The stereotype is there for a reason, because those people still exist. It's kind of like the Dynabro uniform, right? The reason why I say that is because it's a real thing, right? Yeah. Except the problem, the thing that people outside of motorcycling don't understand is the wanted dead or alive guy is probably just as approachable as I am, right? Just walk up to him and say, dude, Bon Jovi was great in 1985.
But not so much today.
When I went and bought my Iron 883, I bought it from a guy named Viper Joe. That was his name at the dealership. It was Viper Joe.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Did you get a business card with that name on it?
Yeah, I think I probably have it around here somewhere. But yeah,
Please
the guy,
find it.
he's like, "We'll have Viper Joe help you." I'm like, "What the fuck is going on here?"
Tony's still
Joe.
snake bit from that one.
I am.
Is there a reason you have that nickname?
Yeah, why is Viper Joe?
He's really good at dodgeball.
It's from his 1985 movie career.
Yeah.
Does he have a really
snap.
nice mustache too?
Oh, he had the handlebar mustache, man. It was kicking.
Yeah.
He didn't have a super trimmed goatee and dark sunglasses and a white bandana tied around his head.
No.
You just described Hulk Hogan.
And half the people that go to Harley.
Does he have a premium subscription?
He might. Who? Hulk Hogan?
Viper Joe.
Viper Joe.
Viper Joe.
He's on the premiums.
He's got a python
You know something, bro?
in his pants.
TMI.
Oh, man.
God.
All right, Discord friends, FDB's about to answer your questions. Make sure you head over to 5dirtybikers.com and click the link on the homepage to visit our Discord and become a member.
Speaking of Discord, don't we have a new Discord member?
We got
We have a
few
new-
ones.
We have a new Patreon.
We have a new Patreon member.
We have a bunch of new Discord people, but we have
We
a new
do.
Patreon.
We do have a new Patreon, Mr. John Atkin. Thank you so much, sir, for joining the 5 Dirty Biker Patreon crew. We appreciate you so much.
Keep it dirty, fucker.
There you go. Man,
Yeah,
that's awful strong words coming from such a tall individual.
Ryan has some pent up aggression going on tonight.
We need-
We need to do a little segment where Mary hands Ryan a Snickers like through the screen. So it's like it's your daughter that hands it to you.
Is he angry?
Hey, Blockhead, you don't have testosteroidal issues, do you?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
What are the symptoms?
Anger, aggression.
A face like this.
I mean, maybe.
Okay, well, you don't seem like you seem easygoing and down to earth, and Ryan just comes off as a dick.
Jeez.
Well, they
He's
do
got
like a-
RDF, resting dick face.
Resting dick face. I got one thing to say to you for that, Mike.
And chin nuts. That's what he's got too. Chin nuts.
Fuck you, Mike.
Oh boy.
Love is
I
strong.
Anyway, Discord.
Discord.
Side note.
Okay, all right.
Side
We got to
note.
get this shit done. All right.
So we got Vivolts. He has another good question. This kind of goes with what we were talking about earlier.
Okay.
From all the bikes you've given away so far, including the new ones, which one is your favorite?
Including the new ones like the season 5 stuff?
He just said including the new ones.
Oh, man. Every one of them is my favorite. Like, whenever I go to give it away, it's like, I don't know. It's like giving away a child or something. You don't want to see it go, but you're like, oh, like I have to disconnect myself from them, in the very beginning and, think like from the very start, like, this isn't my bike. This isn't my bike. This isn't my bike. This isn't my bike.
So have you ever got done with one and went, damn it, I think I'm just going to keep this and give away something else?
Nah, I mean, I can't do that. It's like you get that far into it and make episodes. It's like, this is the bike, guys. And then be like, actually, no, I'm keeping this one. You're going to have something
getting
else.
this Grom.
Oh, this is great. No. This is Joker's panhead.
I thought we were talking about this one.
Your panhead is over here.
I don't know. Like one that probably stands out the most is probably the 48 bobber.
That's his favorite. That's what he said. I wanted to see if you were going to hit it. Yeah.
It was something like a little bit different, it wasn't like black and gold, and once we threw the white walls on there, it just really brought it all together. And it was just super clean.
It looked really good.
It did look really
Thanks,
good.
man. Appreciate that. Yeah.
Was it a hard riding bastard with those solid struts on the back?
Man, it actually wasn't that bad. I got a lot of people that, asked me that. That's why I made the video. Like what is a bobber? Like how to ride one? It's like, because people were like, how do you ride that thing? It's like you put your ass on the seat and you twist the throttle. Like the barrel springs on that thing were actually better than the stock Sportster suspension. Like no joke.
No shit.
Yeah, man. Like the stock Sportster suspension, like for
it's pretty bad.
Anything before, what was it, like 16 and before was so garbage. And so like I could hit a bump and be totally fine with the Springer seat on there, and like with the stock shocks, like it'd be hurting my back.
Well,
So,
I had
yeah,
a few on my
if you were riding it for a long distance, you'd like, if you're riding it for an hour or so, you'd probably get there and your butt would be numb. But yeah, it was a bar hopper, it's a chopper or a bobber.
Every time every time I rode mine, I always felt like I had to poop like 5 minutes after I got on it.
Because you're full of shit.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It was the dildo he had on the seat.
Yeah.
Ew.
It was that prostate button.
Did you say dildo?
I thought you didn't buy the I thought you didn't buy the
I did.
penetrator yet, Mike.
Have you not ever heard of a dildo conversion?
Nope.
They make track kits.
Oh no.
You start by strapping them on, and then you back right into it.
Give you an extra horsepower, or
it just
Gives you more wheels.
It gives you a good feeling in the rear.
Dude, I saw one of those in person, and I think I sent somebody a picture of it. I thought it had training wheels on it.
No, it's a dildo.
Yeah, it was a dildo conversion.
The dildo conversion. Block that's just what we call it, but there is a kit where you can basically like back your bike into it, and it's more or less just training wheels for a person that doesn't want to make a full trike conversion.
Huh.
And Mike called it a dildo, and it's just stuck.
It has 3 wheels in the back.
It has,
When I first
3 wheels in the back.
that was on like our second podcast, and I brought it up and had my serious face going on talking about it, and they're like, "Really?" I'm like,
I think I Googled it. I was like, "It's a dildo. I'm going to Google it."
Yeah,
That was a mistake.
He still can't get that shit off his phone.
Still can't
get a new
that
phone.
off my phone. That's in my history forever.
takes you straight to Adam. It takes you straight to adamandeve.com.
We got a question here from John Boy. What are your favorite routes / places to ride in your particular areas? So I guess this goes for all of us, but Block, will let you go first.
So I've got a couple like more towards like the west of Orlando, like around Lake Apopka. We call it Sugarloaf. It's always like, pretty decent ride. And then there's also some stuff out in Claremont. We just kind of shaped up this one. We call it the haunted house ride because there's this house that looks like super haunted along the route. And then like kind of stuff out towards like Daytona and Cocoa Beach. There's another one called, the Ormond Beach Loop, which is a really, really nice ride. And yeah, that's probably the most like right off the top of my head.
Mary?
Yes. Anywhere there's water, I'm good. If
Well, you live on a sandbar.
I live on a sandbar.
Sand mountain.
There's a lot of springs in my area, so I like to ride to look at the springs. We're really close to the Swanee River, so can access the Swanee River just about anywhere from where I'm at. And of course, riding to the coast to my mom's house at Horseshoe Beach and looking at the Gulf. I love that. So anywhere there's water.
Mike?
Anywhere there's gravel or dirt.
Ryan?
My favorite rides actually are anywhere that takes me out of town. So I like long trips. Those are my favorite rides, and pretty much anywhere. If I can ride, over 100 miles, I'm happy.
Tony, I think I got an idea, but
I'm a big fan of the Bourbon Trail.
Yeah.
Is that the Dick Road?
No, that was you got to get on the Dick Road to get to the Bourbon Trail. But yeah,
nice.
It's a great landmark if you need directions.
Yeah, just follow the Dick.
Blockhead's probably going, what are they talking about?
Yeah, follow the yellow Dick Road.
Follow the yellow Dick Road. Tony did a
yellow Dick Road
in preparation for MMM to show everybody where we would be riding, and he was riding with a group of guys and that were all intending on being there. Volts actually being one of them, and there was a huge dick spray painted on the road, and that's now the Dick Road.
It's the Dick Road.
So was it sprayed like over a pothole?
No, it was just a huge dick. the middle of the road.
Is it a smooth spot?
Have you guys heard of Wanksy?
No.
Part of what?
Wanksy? No.
Wanksy? You know Banksy, right?
You've lost us.
No.
You guys don't know Banksy?
No.
Or Banksy? Yeah, I think it's Banksy. He's a famous graffiti mural artist over in the UK, but nobody knows who he is.
Okay.
But, you can clearly tell his work, and he'll spray paint the side of a building or do some kind of art. A lot of times it's kind of political, but whoever the business owner is will take the wall down intact and sell the artwork for just millions of dollars because he's crazy. He's crazy famous. Look him up. You guys would love his stuff. It's very, modern, usually some kind of funny political statement.
Is he on the Instagrams?
Yeah, I think it's Banksy, Banksy.
Check that out.
But there was this article that I read a while back on a new artist named Wanksy. And so what was happening
is he related to Picasso?
Yeah.
Picasso.
What was happening was this community was having trouble getting the city to repair potholes and stuff, repair the road conditions. And so they tried everything, going the whole, correct route of filing, papers and the whole bureaucratic red tape bullshit. And so nothing would get done. And so what somebody did is they spray painted dicks on the potholes in the roads, and they would fix them immediately. They called that person Wanksy.
Dude, I'm gonna tell you this story before I tell what my favorite road is. But back in high school, and hell, this has been 21 years ago, we had a project for each one of us that was in the senior class of art. And there was only 4 of us or 5 of us, and we had these coves, these small little coves that were in the school cafeteria. And so I got junior year or sophomore year or something like that. I think I painted a car and then other sort of stuff. But my buddy Roger had junior year, and that's when you start thinking about college and what you're going to do after after your senior year. He hid 6 dicks in the Thinker, the statue, the Thinker.
Wow, he is impressive.
And he had thought bubbles coming out, but they were dicks shooting wads at his head. Kneecap was the head of the dick.
Oh my gosh.
Strategically placed dicks.
What's with artists and doing that? The tattoo artist that I went to get my entire left sleeve done, anytime I was there in their shop, it's just a rowdy group of guys, but that somehow it would always end up talking about dicks, and he'd always make fun. He's like, I'm gonna hide the dick right here, while tattooing me, and I'm like, you better not.
Can you imagine that? You pissed off a tattoo artist and you did a big piece on your arm or your leg or something, and you walk out with a dick on you.
A big hidden dick.
Did you look real close? You don't have a dick on your arm right now, do you?
I've looked pretty close. I didn't see anything.
So I want to know something in our Discord.
We're all looking now. It's
Oh,
fix my tattoo.
I got a dick.
The Punisher's hanging brain.
In our Discord, somebody says, Squanch says, ask you to sing the taco flavored kisses song.
Oh,
what
hilarious.
What is that about?
You don't know the taco flavor kisses song?
I guess I missed that one.
Taco, taco, taco. Burrito, burrito. Fulfill all of your wishes with my taco flavor kisses. Oh man, it's a really old South Park reference.
Taco burrito.
Jennifer Lopez, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Jennifer Lopez.
Yeah.
Little sweets. Yeah. Oh, Benny.
Oh, but John Boy, just for me to answer your question, the Grafton River Road that runs from Alton, Illinois to Grafton is my favorite road. It runs along the Mississippi. You got big bluffs on your right, and you got the river on your left. It's a pretty cool ride.
Is that the ride we did on MMM?
That is the ride we did.
Yeah, that was a good ride.
That was a good ride.
A lot of corn.
Not there.
The
Not
river
there.
road.
The river road.
Not the corn road.
Well,
Not the cornhole, Tony.
The corn road lasted about 100 miles.
Give or take.
160 to be exact.
On the dot.
And now it's time for the Whip Banana Mono Word of the Day.
It's like jet fuel for your mind. I'm gonna. Wait, Tony can't just walk out on the word of the day.
That's what I'm saying.
I gotta piss. Give me like 10 seconds, 15 tops.
1, 2,
Pisser's
Three.
right there next
Hold
to
on.
him.
No. You're gonna hear the door slide open, and he's gonna walk.
No,
There's just a toilet sitting on the floor.
He's trying to take the bottle cap off. Oh,
I saw movement in the camera. Is he like seriously
he's pissing in the bottle.
Shake it more than twice. You're playing with it.
I'm back.
No, he didn't. No,
Damn,
I
that
think he
was
actually
fast.
sitting
That was
down.
impressive.
You didn't
Tony.
even get out of the chair, did you?
No, I just ran out. I went out back in the backyard.
That was fast.
Mr.
Miyagi out
Mi-
back.
Mr. Miyagi.
Wipe your mind clean, everything but sleep.
Just give the one hand wave.
It's dark now. Nobody can see that. It's just a little sketchy during the day.
You went out pissed on that rock turtle out there, didn't you?
I did, that fucker next door, like Mr. Miyagi's backyard.
It's dark. It's dark already at your place, Tony?
Fuck yeah, it's dark.
Jesus, we won't get dark for another 2 hours.
You live in
Hey.
Alaska. I'm surprised
Yeah,
it
it's
gets dark at all.
Speaking of getting dark, go ahead. Oh, Mr. Blockhead, go ahead.
Oh no, I got nothing. Go ahead. Speaking of getting dark, I'm interested.
Ooh. The word of the day is spoo-inner-ism.
Oh my God.
I didn't quite get that. What was it again?
Spoo-inner-ism.
Not in the eye. Anyway, but in the-
I like to call that the old squanky eye.
What? Isn't it short for the Popeye?
Just
Or the
like
angry
the
dragon.
words.
Oh, I can tell you this word of the day is not going to be able to make the podcast.
The word was spoo-inner-eyes.
Spoo in her eyes. That's what it was. Straight up spoo in her eyes.
But you're forgetting the
There's at the end.
I got to hear the spelling of this word.
Spelling would be SPOO-N upside down E RIZ upside down E M. Proverbials would be spoo, schwa, rise, schwam. It's a noun. It comes from English 1921.
Specifically.
We have an actual date.
Wow.
It doesn't give me a month or a day, but it's from 1921.
No one had ever spooed in her eyes until 1921.
Or they just didn't admit it. One.
Not in movies,
Oh
at least.
my God.
Definition. First definition is a transposition of initial letters of two words.
Okay.
Second definition is any error in speech that swaps two syllables between two words.
So if you swap her in the eyes, then you're gonna get two syllables.
Gonna get something.
Yeah.
In the eye.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, Mr. Blockhead.
Yes, sir.
Would you like for me to use spoo inner eyes in a sentence?
Yeah.
Hey. Examples of spoo inner eyes in a sentence would be, he was so nervous to give his speak that he started out with the spoo inner eyes
You can't start with that. That's the
comma welcome fear
Welcome what?
fear dens. That's like saying dear friends, except you change the sly labels around.
Okay, I gotcha. Welcome
Fear
to the
den.
fear den. She's afraid to get it in her eye because that shit's gonna burn, I'm telling you. They're both done. Tony and Dustin are done.
Like how he puts his hat on as he leans back his shirt as I got kids.
Yeah. Man, my kids might listen to this. Jesus.
What would be different than any other week, Tony? I mean, geez.
I know.
Blockhead, I think
as red as my shirt.
I think that has to do with the acidic quality.
Absolutely.
I was gonna say something about eating pineapple, but
yeah. I was just saying they had a lot of pineapple.
Very. The pH is way off.
Need a base to level out that acid.
Use your citrus, honey.
Sweet Jesus.
The best food on a first date.
That's where the comes in.
No pineapple. Not spoon your eyes them.
If you're speaking too quickly, you might stumble over your words and utter a spoo inner ice.
It's all about the stumbling now.
Boy, I'll tell you what. I usually can figure the word out, but this one has me completely stumped.
yeah, same. I'm sitting over here like whispering it to myself, like, what is this?
What is?
And that has been the word of the day.
Are you following the 5 Dirty Bikers on social media? Find us on Facebook and like us on Instagram and Twitter at 5 Dirty Bikers.